Hey, welcome. Today we're tackling something huge. How to get out of your own head, ditch that need for everything to be perfect, and finally, just start doing.
So let me ask you something. You ever have this amazing idea, right? A project you're genuinely excited about, but you just never get it off the ground? You get trapped in this cycle of it has to be perfect, and the pressure just builds and builds until you do nothing. If you're nodding your head right now, then stick around. This is for you.
Well, that state of being totally paralyzed, it actually has a name. It's called inertia. You know that feeling, right? Just stuck, weighed down by your own brain? It's the ultimate enemy of getting anything done. And today, we're going to figure out how to beat it. Okay, so think about it like this. Your boss says, I need a perfect 10-page report. Your brain just shuts down, right? It's way too big. But what if we just change the goal? What if the goal isn't the whole report, but just writing the first paragraph? Even if it's a terrible paragraph, all of a sudden, that feels doable. The trick isn't to be amazing, it's to make that first move ridiculously small.
I love this analogy. Think about a toddler learning to walk. They're not sitting there reading a physics textbook on balance, are they? They don't wait until they're ready to run a 5K. They just try. They fall. They get back up, and they try again. If they waited for the perfect step, they'd be crawling forever. We've got to get back to that, Just embrace that first wobbly, imperfect attempt.
So here's the absolute key takeaway. You have to give yourself permission to be just okay, even bad, at the start. The point isn't to create a masterpiece on your first try. The only point is to begin. Lowering your standards isn't an excuse for sloppy work forever, it's a strategy. It's how you smash through that wall of, I can't start. Once you're moving, even a little bit, inertia loses its power.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Well, it starts with turning a really common idea completely on its head.
You know how it is. I'll start working out when I feel motivated. Or I'll write that chapter when I feel inspired. We're always waiting for some magical feeling to show up. But here's the thing, that's totally backward. Action doesn't come from motivation. Motivation comes from action. It creates this amazing little cycle. You do something small, right? Like you just stretch for 5 minutes, and you get a tiny result. Hey, I feel a little looser. That small win gives you a little hit of confidence, and that confidence is what makes you feel motivated to do more. Action is the spark that starts the whole engine. And this is a really important difference to get. Motivation, it's a feeling. It's like a sugar rush. It's awesome for a little while, but then it's gone. Action, though, that can become a habit. And habits, well, habits don't care how you feel. You just do them. They're reliable.
And honestly, it gets even deeper than that. Think of it this way. Every tiny action you take is like casting a vote for the person you want to be. You stop telling yourself, I'm such a procrastinator. Instead, the story starts to change. It becomes, you know what? I'm the kind of person who gets things done. And changing that story you tell yourself, that's way more powerful than any random burst of inspiration.
All right, so we've got the mindset down. Now let's get into the practical stuff. Some really smart tools you can start using right away.
We're all obsessed with our to-do lists, right? Just piling more and more on. But what if real productivity isn't about adding stuff, but taking it away? It's about getting rid of all the junk that's draining your energy and attention.
So, tool number 1, make a don't-do list. Seriously, this is your defense against all the distractions out there. By actually writing down the things you promise not to do, you're setting up guardrails for your focus. I mean, just imagine how much brain power you'd save if you didn't check your email first thing in the morning or didn't get sucked into social media. This list is about protecting your most precious resource, your attention.
Okay, so you've cut out the noise. Now how do you focus on what's actually important? That brings us to our next tool.
This is called the burner list. I want you to picture yourself as a chef in a busy kitchen. You've got a stove. The front burners, that's for the stuff that needs your full attention right now. Searing the steak, your top priorities. The back burners are for the things that can just simmer away. They're important, yeah, but they don't need you staring at them every second. This whole idea stops you from trying to do everything at once. It forces you to decide what really, truly matters at this moment.
All right, final tool for this section. You ever get that thing where you have so many choices that you just freeze? You can't decide, so you do nothing? That's decision paralysis, and it's a huge productivity killer.
So the solution is to create a set of simple rules for yourself. You can call it a fancy name, but really it's just about making a framework so you don't have to think so hard. For the little things, automate them. That's why some super successful people wear the same thing every day. It's one less decision to make. And for the big stuff, have a go-to question, like, does this actually get me closer to my main goal?
When you have a system like this, you save so much mental energy and end up making better choices faster.
Okay, if you really want to take this to the next level, there's one more layer we can add. It's not just about what you're doing, but when you're doing it. This is all about learning to work with your body's natural energy instead of constantly fighting against it.
You know how some mornings you feel like you could solve anything, but by 3 p.m. you can barely type your own name? Well, that's not you being lazy, that's just your biology. It's something called ultradian rhythms. Basically, your body works in these 90 to 120-minute cycles. You get a peak of high energy and then a dip where you need to recover. This whole idea that we can be on and focused for 8 hours straight, it's a complete myth.
So the big brain move here is to stop fighting this natural rhythm and start using it to your advantage. Figure out when your peak energy time is. For a lot of people, that's mid-morning. And guard that time with your life. That's when you do your hardest, most important work. And those low energy times, that's when you do the easy stuff, like answering emails or making phone calls. It's a shift from time management to energy management.
So how do you figure this out? It's actually pretty simple. Just for 1 week, pay attention. That's it. Just notice when you feel sharp and on top of your game and when you feel like you're dragging. Once you see a pattern, you can start building your schedule around it. Put the hard stuff in your peak times and the easy stuff in the lulls. And, this is huge, actually take a break after about 90 minutes. Let your brain recharge.
All right, let's bring this all home. We've gone through motivation, some really cool tools, even your body's energy cycles. But everything we've talked about boils down to one simple, powerful idea. The journey from just thinking about something to actually doing it, it doesn't begin with a flawless plan. It begins with one single, messy, imperfect step.
And this quote really says it all perfectly. The first draft is always going to be bad. The first attempt at anything is going to feel a bit average. That first step is always unsteady. And that's okay. We have to accept that the beginning is supposed to be a little clumsy. The goal isn't to be graceful. The goal is just to start. So I'll leave you with this question. What's your first imperfect step going to be? Today. Not tomorrow, not when you have time. Today. Don't let yourself overthink it. Just pick one small thing and go. Because that is where everything changes.